Okay, we're back. This is part 2. We picked up right where we left off. So we left off by painting the robe with using the linear burn mode and a clipping mask. And now we're going to do the same thing for the sleeves. So want to click on the sleeve layer, and we are going to create a new layer. Click on this clipping mask selection, go to linear burn, and then click on the white there. It creates the same thing. It's going for the sleeves. So anything we do will only affect the sleeves. That's the beauty of the clipping mask. We're going to change the opacity up here. We're going to create our stripes here. I always start again with this drooping down cuff portion. So just to give me a point of reference, so real quickly do that. You can see it starts to take a little more life onto it once realizing I'm going about as fast as I can to keeping the video time here. Same for up here on this arm. We got a shaded area where it's going to be coming up out of there. So you're gonna make it as such. So now again, follow the pattern of the clothes. It's how they would gather and bunch and curve, and I'm doing this with the mouse. I said I was going to do it with the graphics tablet, but I guess I'm just going to have to do it with this just so I can say I did it. So you guys out there with a mouse, looks like you should be able to do the same thing I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to make my brush bigger, change the opacity down a little bit, just kind of shade it a little more here. Shade everything just a little bit. Just the sleeves, that is. Next, we're going to go back to the robe, and I want to just shade it a little more. So I'll just add, so I click on the clipping mat or burn mode layer there, and we're going to create another layer. So we're going to click on robe, new layer, same thing, make sure this is selected here for your clipping mask. This time we're going to go linear dodge and click on that, and it's going to create the black. So again, it's just these two. You should realize by now, I guess, with the mask, black conceals and white reveals type system. Well, in this case, with this mode we're in, is that the white background you paint with black, so that darkens. That's where we've got our stripes. And then with black, you're going to use white, and that creates the highlights. So go in here and you'll see here, I'm just going to kind of go between some of these, and I want to change my opacity up a little bit so we can see it better. Might be a little much. Tone it down a little. Just start painting in, just kind of follow the light. And I should really be using my tablet, but I just might as well use this just so I can say I did it. And just follow the flow here, the creases, and you can kind of see how it's starting to take that 3D-ish kind of look to it. And now let's do the same thing for the sleeves. So we click on the sleeve layer, create a new one, layer, make sure our clipping mask selection is selected, linear dodge, click on the black there. See, it created it just like it did that one. Now we're going to work on the sleeves. So we're going to find this rim of this cuff here, kind of give it a little highlight. I'm just quickly doing this to get the points across. Just create a little highlights, and that's something you need to be thinking about when you're doing these. Where's your light source, and how would light lay on this? If I got light coming from the upper right, with this would be bright, this would be in shade, so on and so forth. So those are the kind of things you want to kind of look at. So now it's going to kind of follow the clothing here and kind of follow the flow, kind of make it have some ruffles in it. Same up here. Now we know under this arm we should have some shade, so let's go back to the robe, to the burn. So here's your robe, here's the white for the for the burn. Make a bigger brush, and let's tone it down to about 7. Make a little bigger brush. Just kind of shade under the arm here, you know how that arm is going to be, so it gets that arm standing out a little. And so now we got that. We know we'll probably have some shade over here on this side, depending on our light again. Because I had a glowing orb here, and I was trying to cast light on her face and on her chest area, but for this you can kind of see what I'm doing. Just kind of add some shade. Let's shade this area. So let's go to our sleeve and go to that clipping mask for the burn, and we'll just shade under here, you know, just kind of this one side, and just kind of give us some dimensionality, I guess. And you can see how it's kind of blending. You can come back and you can blend in these joints better. Again, I'm just quickly doing this to get the points across and get a little shading in here. And you can see how things are starting to take shape. You need to go back to the robe for that hood, and let's shade it a little, you know, maybe a little darker around her head area. And we need to, of course, clean up, so we'll go back to the robe. Let's create a mask. So click here, create a mask on that, and I'm gonna just get rid of some of these extra lines that, you know, won't be here. I'm gonna turn my opacity up, turn the black on, get a brush, just clean that up. Of course, that'll be gone. This will all be gone here like that. Her hair will be like that. I'm just quickly cleaning this up to kind of show. Come in here, clean this up. Of course, that won't be there. Clean that all off. And then, of course, you can also go to the actual background layer of my daughter in this case, and I would have at this point masked this portion out of her hand and this hand, and then by turning a clipping mask on I can shade these areas, but we're not going to do all that for sake of time here. So let's just go look at, I'm going to turn off what I've done here, and let me do it this way and show you the steps in the original one. So let me turn on the robe. Let me turn on the sleeve there. I had sleeves on 2 different layers. I was doing something a little different earlier with that. So there's one, there's the other. You can see it's all solid just like we did earlier. Now I'm going to turn on, change the color. So let's turn all that on. Just turn everything on. You can kind of see it as I go. How I shaded, added light. There's my glowing orb. Add some rays. I need to turn my background off here. Oops, need to turn her back on now. There's my daughter back. Here's some shading. You can see this shading adding in. More shading for the light, for the arm and the face. Some more glow. Just turning on all these things to help show that really that's all I do. There's a glowing ball. I think that's about it. So I'm sorry I rushed through it so fast, but I think the main point is when you create the clothing is to use that clipping mask feature in the new layer, you know, off your robe or any other article of clothing that you may be creating, and use the linear burn, linear dodge. And you know, there's several other modes you can use that can kind of get similar results as well, but those are some of the ones I've used and showed you today. So if you have any questions, you post them in the forums and we'll try to help you out. Talk to you later. Thank you.